If you're thinking of relocating and you're wondering if South Carolina is a good place to live, if great weather, reasonable property taxes, and an amazing culture is on your short list of must-haves, stay tuned. My name is Donna Yanakino, and I am the latest addition to the GCH team. And I am super excited to not only be here in South Carolina, but on this channel speaking with you. Perhaps like yourself, we too set out our research online. We ultimately ended up on this channel and we found our home here in South Carolina. The number one reason we wanted to relocate from our home state of New York was to get away from New York winters. New York winters are cold. Not only cold, but they seem to last forever. I kid you not, from November through April, you're indoors. Of course, you can get out and about, but you really can't enjoy the outdoors because even if you have mild days, there's snow and ice on the ground. It's just not conducive to getting up and just going out with ease or enjoyment. In South Carolina, the winters like that are virtually non-existent. The winters are just, generally speaking, very mild. So I'll bring you through a quick high level of what you can expect from month to month. I'm going to start with September. We're heading into beautiful weather during that month. September, October, November, even December, because it's gotten cooler from the summer. People are getting out. They're riding bikes, walking dogs, really enjoying sports and things that perhaps they couldn't have done in the heat of the summers in the South. A lot of times people ask, do you miss the change of seasons when you move to South Carolina? And I know what they're talking about because in New England, there's nothing like the fall foliage. The fall leaves are beautiful, or the first snowfall really gives you that holiday vibe when it happens. However, those are both short-lived. When the first ice storm or snowstorm comes along and knocks those beautiful leaves off the trees in the fall, then you're left with brown, barren trees. I also know that when that happens, what's ahead of us, which is in fact winter, and it's really kind of a bummer. A lot of times the first snowfall of New York is so nice, and after the holidays are gone, it is just a pain in the you-know-what. To get around, to scrape your car, to plow your driveway, to drive in, it's really not enjoyable after the first event. The holiday season, although you may not have the cold feel from the winter, which I'm all about, you will see a lot of holiday lighting and displays, and there's a lot of great events, especially depending on where you go in South Carolina. And you can really get out and enjoy them without freezing your you-know-what off to do it. It does get colder. January, February can get into the 30s, the 40s, and then it pops up into the 60s, 50s, on occasion 70s. Now, springtime, February is when it's starting on the upswing. March, April, May, beautiful. Perfect time to still ride your bike and do the active things that you want to do. And then now start going to the beach if you're in the coastal sections like we are. June, it starts to get a little warmer. And then July and August, that's very hot here. It gets super humid. Not only do you have like those big hair days, well, I do anyway, and like Karin so eloquently described in her Georgia video about Georgia weather.
It gets so humid here in the summertime, there is no point.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's really not that humid here.
But I've also had moments where I just go out of the house and I look like a drenched rat. It just makes for a perfect time if you're in a community that has amenities such as pools. It is a perfect time to go out and enjoy the beaches and stay in air conditioning during the middle of the day where it may be too hot, and you can do your activities in the morning and at night. So technically, you can really be outdoors year-round if that's what you're looking for. We wanted to enhance our quality of life, focus on our health and wellness as we're heading into retirement years. We're not there yet, but we want to get ourselves set up in a perfect spot, and that is why we landed in South Carolina. Another reason we chose South Carolina is because of the reasonable property taxes. When you're looking for a place to live, you want to take into account costs of living, wages, taxes, home values, your lifestyle. For us, we wanted to focus on an area that had lower taxes because coming from New York, enough said, if you know, you know, the taxes in New York are astronomical. It's important to really consider the taxes of a particular home that you're looking at, because even though the list prices in the area that we moved to, and you might find this in other areas that you're interested in as well, because of the housing market being the way it is, list prices have gone up considerably. At first glance, it might be deceiving or maybe a little disappointing because you may be thinking you're going to get a better house for a lower list price. But that's just not the market right now. However, if you really focus on the taxes and what the taxes actually do to your overall mortgage payment, you will find an offset that could potentially help you afford more house ultimately. There's online calculators that you can use that you factor in your list price of the home, the taxes, HOA, which is your homeowner association fees. If you are going to a planned community, that those fees go to the upkeep of the property or the amenities. Everyone is different on what they offer and what they charge. And also your interest rates and the term of your loan and your down payment. And if you calculate that, you might find that your monthly payments, although if you go with a higher price home, because of the savings and taxes, you might be able to keep your monthly payments the same or even perhaps lower them. Just keep in mind, in South Carolina, your tax assessment rate will be different depending on how you're using your property. So for example, primary residents get the lower tax assessment. If you're using it as a secondary property or a rental income or a vacation home, you will be assessed at the higher rate. So you really want to know and be very clear about how you're using that property in order to estimate your taxes. You can always call the local tax department to help you with that. In any case, taxes are really important to look at, and you want to, of course, look at that in context with your list price, and you might be surprised you can afford more home than you thought. Last but not least, number 3, the culture. We wanted to move to a place that we felt good about being a part of. We wanted a great culture. We wanted a great community. We wanted some cool characteristics in the area that we lived, one that we can really enjoy year-round. Obviously, depending on where you go, just as with localized weather differences and tax rates, you're going to find different cultures in different parts of the state. Some areas are big into college town vibe and football, and other areas such as the Hilton Head area that we're a part of is a big golfing community, and we're on the coastal side, so a lot of boating and marine life and nature and recreation. As a matter of fact, in South Carolina, many people are very proud of where they live. You're going to find South Carolina-based flags wherever you go. The emblem is just really representative of the beauty of the area. You will find it on cars, on signs, on mats. And it's funny because I've lived in New York my whole life, and I couldn't tell you what the New York flag looks like. Do you know? Oh, that's sad, huh? Oh my God. Yeah, no, ours is way better, way better. And there's something to be said about Southern hospitality. The people that we've encountered, the locals that have lived here all their life, are very warm and welcoming and inviting and helpful. And I'm finding that the transplants that are coming here, just as we did, are really embracing the pace of life and also being just as friendly and welcoming, because really it's just a great place to live, and it's something that we want to foster and be a part of and to be proud of. And that is why we decided to ultimately relocate to South Carolina. If you are also looking to relocate, make sure you download our free relocation guide and look for more videos on the Hilton Head area, which is where we ultimately ended up.